Copper production is the cornerstone of Arizona's economic growth and history. Arizona accounts for nearly 70% of the United States' total copper production. We're sitting right here in elephant country.
Right next door, South 32 is building a massive mine. They spent $1.7 billion to acquire the property and are putting billions more into it to build out the surface and subsurface infrastructure.
Our Sunnyside Project borders them to the north, south, and to the east. And our geological data tells us something incredible. The heat engine responsible for all that mineralization is right here on our ground beneath my feet.
We are hunting for the source of the mineralization, and the drill is turning right now.
We think that we're on this monster porphyry deposit, and we're just at the cusp of drilling it. We're at the cusp of really discovering it because this thing hasn't been drilled in 30 years. And so there was only a few holes here, and now we've come back 30 years later with more modern thinking on how to drill this, and we think that we are onto a big discovery here.
What's driven this alteration, this emplacement, and this brecciation is the copper porphyry that's underneath us. It's amazing.
Look at this one.
Look at these. Look at it. They're all fractured. It's incredible.
Yeah. This is exactly what we want to see with all these structures right here and all this crazy alteration in the rocks. This is a nice zone right here.
It's beautiful. What really has attracted me to this property is the potential. And we have an audience. So this is where we store a majority of the core we have. Then we have a historic core in the back half of this building.
So these are all from a sarco that were drilled over 30 years ago.
This is invaluable. We have more core stored outside in our containers. It's something that's been overlooked for quite some time. We're thinking where others haven't. And the Sunnyside porphyry actually could host a very profitable, mineable, extractable resource and reserve. We haven't proven that yet, but that's our goal. We are operating in a Tier 1 jurisdiction, which is incredibly important to the future of the property. We have a fully permitted U.S. Forest Service plan of operation, which took 6 years to get. Now we have the green light to test all of our targets on the property.
So now we've delineated this whole 600-meter strike, step to the north, got 650 meters up here. We're still seeing mineralization up here. The first 15 RC holes intended just to test the CCC target have all ended in mineralization. So effectively, we're defining this pretty big footprint so far within CCC.
Right. All of these holes hit copper mineralization in the drill chips. So what we've been able to do is we're establishing a near surface copper mineral body that may turn into something much more significant and is at the surface. And we're doing this cheaply. It's very encouraging. What you see behind me is South 32's Hermosa project. You cannot get a better neighbor than that.
They've spent about $2.6 billion in total investment in infrastructure so far. And so when you look at how close it is to our property, our project is right here next to this massive amount of infrastructure being put into the ground to develop these assets. We believe just next door, we have the heat engine at the Sunnyside copper porphyry that's responsible for all this mineral deposition.
You're looking at a system that doesn't care about invisible property lines. And we aren't just looking for copper, we are looking for a suite of critical metals for the energy transition, including zinc, manganese, antimony, silver, and lead.
We're gonna continue to drill our copper porphyry system next door and define just how big this can be, expanding the footprint near surface and at depth.
Our discoveries will benefit from their infrastructure, and their infrastructure will benefit from our discoveries.
In 2023, we concluded a 6-year process, which we finally got our permits in order to be able to drill Sunnyside. And we're at the cusp right now of finishing our second phase 2 drill program, which is the 25,000 feet. Originally, 25,000 feet of diamond drilling would have cost us anywhere between 10 and 15 million of capital, but we have a different plan.
Here we are drilling one of our triple C targets that we've outlined in our program for this year. We're using reverse circulation methods, which cost about 10 to 15% of what a diamond drill program would cost. So in that case, we can drill our program, 25,000 foot program, for approximately $3 million versus a core program of that magnitude would cost 10 times that. And so we're bringing our focus up to the surface and drilling efficiently on targets that others, including ASARCO, had recommended for follow-up drilling, yet never pursued it.
I tend to prefer this method over core logging because I see more with the surface area. I can pour these out and spray them with water and get a better look than just having a solid tube of rock. And so what I do is I will check out these rock chips for mineralogy and alteration. Being the first eyes on the chips here, I get to basically have the first guess at the mineralogy. But right now, I'm just gonna sit here and look for the predominant minerals and the style of alteration that I see.
We're in our core logging facility. So continuing from this contact zone all the way down here, all of this rock, which was once a limestone, has been completely replaced by the minerals associated with lead, zinc, copper, silver, carbonate replacement deposit. And in this zone through here, we see extensive deposits of an iron mineral called siderite. And this is unusual because the original host rock has been completely replaced. The original host rock is now completely gone. This is now almost like a new rock. This is the sweet spot within the carbonate replacement mineralization. This is high-grade copper, lead, and zinc. And this extends for tens of meters through here to here. So we have a broad interval that pretty much corresponds to the base of what South 32 calls the Taylor deposit.
The World's Fair mine is another prospective target for us. It's a small past producer of high-grade silver. It produced from about 1879 to 1954 and produced 13,000 tons of 58 ounces per ton silver, 6.6% lead, and 0.72% copper, with trace elements of gold and zinc as well. These bonanza silver grades that we're seeing at the World's Fair mine sit right on the northern boundary of our property. And we're drilling this target right now because we believe it dips right onto our property and we want to test the potential on our ground.
We're on the platform where we're going to test the Josephine vein target. The Josephine mine produced 237,000 tons of 8.5% lead. It was 6.5% zinc and over 13 ounce per ton silver. So we're testing the extension of that structure onto our property here.
Over 100 years ago.
Produced in the early 20th century.
Okay.
A great target. We went up across the South 32 entrance to all their facilities, and now we're sitting right here, right on the eastern edge of the Peak deposits. All their deposits point back to the Sunnyside porphyry and that whole system.
All of that geology, that mineralization over there associated with this bullseye porphyry target right on our property. What else aren't we seeing yet? And what is the potential for more of these deposits on our side of the property?
Right. You know, there's more to be found.
Sunnyside is our flagship project, which we'll own 67.5% of after this next phase of drilling. We've added 4 additional projects to the portfolio over the past 6 years. We're going to take you along for the ride every step of the way through constant video updates.
This is just the beginning. We have an elite team from the boardroom to the exploration team. We're moving fast.
We're chasing the heat. Stick around.